Hello, everyone, and welcome to the June webinar, the webinar for your release notes and your upcoming deploy. We will cover the deploy notes on this webinar as well as the release notes per usual. If you're joining us, this again is for June. Happy Friday. If you're watching this on the release date, it's Friday. It's the weekend. We had a short week. If you're not watching it as soon as I release it, then you're watching it on some other day, and I'm sorry, but Friday will come again soon, I promise. So, this is where we're at. Well, we're into the summer, so hopefully everyone's having a great summer so far. We had the Memorial Day weekend, which was not long enough, and but things hopefully are slowing down just a bit on campus or wherever you're at. But we are moving into the summer season, so we are going to see a lot of releases. We're going to hear lots of good news from Instructure about some exciting new product updates and enhancements that are coming. So I'm excited to share some of that this summer. You'll hear most of this post InstructureCon in July. So we'll talk more about InstructureCon also on the next month's webinar, which will be before InstructureCon. So, all right. It's been a week. I'm a little nasally. I apologize if it sounds like I'm struggling with a head cold. I don't think it's a head cold. I think it's allergies. Tree pollen's been rough around here in the Midwest. So, all right, we're going to dive into our release notes. There's a couple things I want to pull up right away first to talk through before we get into the enhancements. I want to talk through some blog posts that I think are pretty exciting. I'll post these into the newsletter and the email that I send out. So you'll have direct links to them. But I wanted to call attention to a blog post from our Chief Architect Officer, Zach Pendleton. Zach posted last week, Wednesday. Actually posted this week, sorry. If you're watching it next week, it'll be last week. But let's just not get wrapped up in time. So we posted on Wednesday. There's 2 new ways that we're using artificial intelligence to streamline workflows in Canvas. This is exciting. So if you haven't checked out the full blog post that Zach posted, it's really more on the marketing side on the Instructure website about artificial intelligence. Definitely check this out. You're going to hear more about this after InstructureCon. These are some of the features and bigger enhancements that we're making to Canvas as a whole, incorporating artificial intelligence. So I know it's been a long time coming, but we're closer than ever. So Zach wrote a blog post about all the ways that we are planning on using AI. We're using it. We're going to incorporate it into search. So you'll have a smart search for efficiency and time saving for finding content within courses. We're also looking at using artificial intelligence for deeper insights into your data in reporting. So we'll hear more about that. So check out that blog post. He had this recent update talking about, again, AI being applied to a couple of new areas, which is exciting. One of them is related to our discussions redesign, which is still up and coming. That's also this month's theme. I'm excited about this. So our office hours, which again will be the third Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of the month, depending on the state that you're in, 2:00 Central. If you haven't been added or you would like to be added to the placeholder, the calendar placeholder, let me know. I'll get you added to that. If not, just remember when it is. I'll send out an email before to remind everyone. Invite anyone you want to it, instructors, faculty, teachers, whoever you'd like to be a part of that. They're welcome to come in, and it's open Q&A, so I can answer questions really from any topic. My focus will be in the beginning, though, will be the theme, and this month it will be in discussions. Last month in May, we had a very successful office hours on new quizzes, and if you're interested in that, I'll also point out to many of you. I'll link into that office hours from last month if some of you missed it. There's a lot of good information in that. I took a little longer than I typically do in office hours. I spent about 30 minutes. I'll try to wrap that up quicker this month for our theme, about 15 to 20 minutes for our theme again for discussions, since we are coming up on that discussions redesign coming in July. So, but let's come back to the post here. This is talking about AI being used for discussions and creating discussion summaries. So this is exciting. You know, the larger the class, when you have students, it's a great tool for students to use discussions, but they can kind of, the threads can grow and grow. Lots of information to sift through. The AI integration or the AI tool, the assistant, can help summarize those discussions. And so if you're looking for key points, you're looking for information within those threads that are happening, the interactions between students. What a great way to incorporate AI. What a great assistant to be able to sort through that content. We also are incorporating AI into our RCE. So writing and editing tools will become available in the RCE. We'll talk more about this implementation more broadly at the end of 2024, but you're going to hear lots of new and exciting things here in InstructureCon. So we're not going to spoil the surprise yet. We want to wait until InstructureCon. We'll make some of those bigger announcements around artificial intelligence, but just know here in the blog post we're spotlighting the writing and editing tools, a way to summarize and create content within the RCE. So that's super exciting. What a great way to use artificial intelligence again. I also want to point out a couple other blog posts for product. One of them by the wonderful developer relations manager, Auburn Dean is awesome. She wrote a blog post about the third-party cookies. Some of the information you may have received about this. Canvas is going to stay solid. We've made updates on our end. We want you to be aware that third-party cookies may crumble in the future, 2025. It looks a little bit further out, especially if you're on Chrome or primary Chrome user. But you'll see there's information in this blog post about kind of preparing for that, especially with your LTI tools. If you want them to run smoothly out in later into 2024 into 2025, we want to make sure that you're preparing for that for the upcoming third-party cookie changes. So check out this blog post. I'll link to it again. Lots of good information in there as well. Also, Katya had made a post. She is one of the product managers. This is an update to Commons. So if Commons is a great tool, I don't feel like it's fully utilized in all instances. If you haven't looked at Commons in a while, that I really would encourage you to take a look. I'm happy to do that on a separate call too. You ever want to pull me in, please do that. But we have some updates into Commons. In more detail here in the blog post, we're talking about some of these small yet impactful changes that have been made to the interface or the UI into Commons. Padding adjustments, label updates, accessibility enhancements coming soon. The ability to report inappropriate spam content. We've changed the Commons logo now on the side, or will be changing the Commons logo in the side nav bar. Adjusting button hover states, text fix to make functionality more straightforward, and mobile menu improvements. So check it out. This blog post, Katya's team is doing a wonderful job here, making some enhancements to Commons, making it a much more powerful engagement tool. So if you haven't checked it out, do that. All right. Badging. There is near real-time badging. Awarding badges is never been easier. So if you haven't looked at credentials or badging, we've made some big changes there. So this is an update into credentials and badging or badges. So take a look at the post here. This is from our product manager over Canvas Credentials. Dora posted lots of great updates. Near real-time badging. Awarding now is available. Near real-time enrollment syncing. Enhanced users experience and improved workflow with credentials. So check out the blog post there. If you have questions, let me know. And I also want to touch on the workflow enhancements that we've made recently to the LMS. So even in release notes, a lot of times we'll miss some of the small things, and some of these small things are very impactful, so we definitely want to highlight them. But the message students who option has received many improvements over the last 3 or 4 months. Just calling this blog post does a great job of calling attention to some of those improvements. So take a look at that. We've also had some updates into the course sorting options in Canvas. And so again, small, easy to miss, but very impactful, hopefully helpful to workflows for instructors. Check out the blog post to kind of get a recap on what we've done. Inbox improvements are also part of some of the changes we've received in the last few months, so check those out. Discussion redesign. So we're getting close. I know we haven't seen much maybe since March, but we had an update here from Sam Garza, who's our product manager over the discussions redesign. She made some updates here on 5/17, so about a middle part of May. You'll see just a quick summary, quick update on some of the small changes they've done, especially around being able to quickly see unread messages within discussions, and some of the workflow enhancements that are upcoming. The closer we get here to July into the summer, we'll see more updates from discussions. I think some of this will be a part of InstructureCon announcements as well. So keep an eye on that. Bookmark the discussions blog posts. Here we go. Off we go into the release notes for June 15th, the upcoming release. All of these are now in beta. You're able to test these. Please do. If you run into questions, if you run into anything, feedback on the releases while in beta, please let me know so I can get those to the community team, get those to the product team. We can get responses to you before this hits production. All right, summary. Table of contents, check that out. This is going to give you a quick summary on everything that's happening. Here's some of the big features that are being rolled out. Currently available in beta is the new permissions. Permissions for item bank, permission into sub accounts. So right now in permissions, item banks, you can enable this in beta. Once the permission is given, item banks can now be shared into sub accounts. And so we've got some workflow for this. Again, everything's tied to this permissions first. There's some other enhancements within the release notes this month that are tied to that permission. So you have to enable the permission in order to do this with sub accounts and sharing item banks. Got some workflow here and some images on how to enable that. You'll find this in permissions. It's item banks manage account, item banks share with sub accounts is the primary here for this particular enhancement. So that's going to be, this is just kind of a needed and requested feature for item banks within new quizzes. Now it's to be able to share these and move these into some of the sub accounts that are under the main instance. Studio update that falls into Canvas, and this is why. And I've been talking about this the last few months about more integrations behind the scenes with some of the other Instructure products like Studio closely integrated into Canvas. Here's why you're going to see it in both places, because Studio now has integration into SpeedGrader. The media comment, screen capture, and auto captioning is now available. So this is also in beta. This was released in the beta on 5/20. It'll be available until production. Test this out if you are a Studio user. In SpeedGrader, the Studio Media Recorder is introduced. You'll see a screenshot of that where we notice the comment section. You've got a new icon now for Studio. When you use this tool, again, some of this is going to be familiar with just the Studio, just some of the inherited features that you're familiar with, but you'll notice screen capture is available. You can enable this. You can start screen captures, screenshots, or screen recordings with this option. You'll notice very similar to if you've used Studio in this format, or if we're familiar with other screen capture tools. Zoom is pretty popular, or common one. Microsoft as well. With Teams, you'll notice you're able to select what you're recording with either the tab, the window, the entire screen, and you'll have those options that are open. That will also appear in this integration. So this is exciting. Also, options to switch different webcams or whatever the recording device might be. So again, we've got a nice little pairing between Canvas now into SpeedGrader, which is a really, really powerful tool, and Studio. So if you're not a Studio user, we've got more and more reasons coming down the pipe too to be a Studio user. More and more integrations that are going to be very, very powerful for Canvas. If you haven't checked it out in a while, check it out. It doesn't cost anything to do a demo on Studio, and I think it's one of our better tools. And more reporting coming. So check it out. Talk to me. Let me know. Max Spencer is our account executive. He's happy to do a demo for Studio for anyone that's even just considering it down the road. If you're looking at replacing something else, maybe it's a couple years out. Start to review it now because there's some really great enhancements and great features coming for Studio. New quizzes. Default to new quizzes feature option renamed. This is a real small change, but I'm glad that it's being made because I think it adds a little bit of clarity into the process or workflow for eventually turning off classic quizzes. The default to new quizzes feature option is renamed Disable Classic Quiz Creation, which is really what the functionality is. Default to new quizzes, I think not misleading intentionally, but I think it was a little confusing. Now being able to say or renaming it Disable Classic Quiz Creation is very cut and dry. So really a verbiage change there. Export new quizzes using Common Cartridge. This is an enhancement, adds on to an enhancement we made last month with Common Cartridge. When exporting course content, new quizzes are included in Common Cartridge exports and course content exports as XML files, allowing the import of existing quizzes to new quizzes. So you'll see some workflow here of the export type when exporting a course, and then the Common Cartridge option being included in that mix now for import into new quizzes. Sub-account bank sharing. This is, again, related to the permissions piece we saw earlier at the very beginning of the release notes. Admins and instructors can now share item banks with sub-accounts when the item bank share with sub-accounts permission is enabled at the course role or account role level. So we see some new workflow options for sharing or pushing into sub-accounts. We have the main level account and then share with search, or in the drop-down menu, finding or selecting the sub-account that you'd like to give access to or share. And so new workflow, new screen options to do that as well, again, when the permission is enabled. So those are some exciting enhancements around new quizzes. Finally, the last one also tied to new quizzes, but again, we have some overlap and again, integration into outcomes, outcome alignment, sub-account bank sharing, and some additional context around that option. Also available within beta right now, the sub-account level, sub-account specific item bank questions can be aligned to outcomes. So again, this is tied to the permission, but root account, sub-account, course name displays in an item bank stating where the outcomes are sourced, and users can see which outcomes belong to courses and sub-accounts. So this is also very exciting. We got some workflow here to show documentation, dropdown or source dropdown, and how to locate and align those outcomes into sub-accounts. So I added a little more, added an enhanced workflow and around outcomes. We'll continue to see outcomes alignment and outcome enhancements related to new quizzes over time. This also ties into rubrics quite a bit, so keep tapped into some of those enhancements because those are very exciting too for higher education. All right, other updates, not so big, but available, and just keep in mind some of these might apply. So enforcement of LTI deep linking line items is available or also part of the release notes. Removal of submission type selection developer key is also part of this workflow. Removal of new quiz migration during course import copy feature option. This is also within new quizzes. This is an admin only feature. I don't believe this is in beta yet. This is to be announced. It's we're very close, but just keep an eye on this one if this is an interesting feature for you. This is when new quizzes is enabled and the import existing quizzes as new quizzes. Checkbox is available by default. That's on the import content page and copy a course page. New quizzes migration during course import copy feature option is removed. Screenshot showing that option, just really kind of an adjustment. This is really almost a deploy, but we see it included in the release notes for this month. Finally, another big one. This is probably the biggest one for me. I'm most excited about. I'd love to go into more detail about this on some of my calls here, just quarterly business reviews. I'm happy to walk through this. We had the announcement last month in the May. I featured it as kind of some product updates. We were bringing in Lucid as an integration. So if you're not familiar with Lucid software, they've got some great tools, very engaging tools, Lucid Spark, Lucid Chart. I've used them before as a former trainer and just kind of as an educator or an instructional designer creating content. If you want a great way to engage students, and there probably a lot of them are going to be familiar with these type of engagement tools, Lucid integration is fantastic. It is in beta currently, so go in and check it out. It'll be in production by default in June. Unless you want to opt out of this at an account level, you'll need to let me know. But if you don't, then you're going to have this turned on. I have no concerns with it at all. It operates very similar to any other LTI, except we're going to feature it in the RCE. You'll see a Lucid button. You'll also see it appear in your LTI drop-down menu. If someone doesn't have a Lucid account, they're going to be walked through a couple steps, and that's mainly what the release notes covers, is how to walk through those steps to integrate fully into the RCE or into Canvas. It's very simple. It's a free account. It doesn't cost them anything. But again, the benefit for Lucid is they're being featured by Canvas, and also they're going to have new accounts created through this process. So it's kind of a win-win for them. I was unsure of what type of tools they were going to give with the integration. As you walk through this, you'll see. Once you have an account created with Lucid, the integration is complete. That's all you need to do. You won't have to walk through these steps again. And you have full access to everything the free Lucid account gives. And so if you're not familiar with Lucid, Lucid Chart is one option. Lucid Spark is the other. Both allow for collaboration tools. They allow for brainstorming documents. They allow for virtual whiteboard, which can be used in a hybrid setting. It can be used in the classroom. It can be used, again, to create documents for assignments. Another great part of the integration is you'll notice on the Canvas end of it, once this is complete, that documents that you do create, again, those can be collaborative. If you don't like to work within the RCE, because it kind of looks like an embed, it kind of looks like an iframe, there is an option to open whatever document you're creating in Lucid, opens up in a separate tab. Any information on the document you create automatically gets put into Canvas. So it's much easier to work in an open tab that's in Lucid than it is to work inside the RCE, but you have the option either to do both, one or the other. In submissions or for assignments, submission type, Lucid becomes an option now once that's enabled. So somebody wants to submit directly using a Lucid document, it's very, very quick and easy to do that. So I think it's a phenomenal tool. I tested it already a couple times using just different documents and creating a different workflow or brainstorming session. virtual whiteboard. It's fantastic. So I've no concerns again from my part. I think it's a fantastic tool. I'm totally endorsing it. Again, from the facilitator, instructional designer, instructor that's inside of me all the time. This is a fantastic tool. So please take advantage of it. Let me know if you have questions. Again, this is in beta currently. You can test it, but we can roll it out, or we will be rolling it out in June, on June 15th as part of that release. All right. Deploy notes. Let me jump back here. Let's see. Well, the recording will have to, where did I have this open? Did I have the release note? Yeah, I'm going to jump back to the top of the screen. Filler might edit this out. I don't know. Maybe we'll keep it in. Who knows? Let's go back to the product releases. Canvas. We're going to go to the deploy notes. Real quickly, I do have deploy notes. I'll put a slide up here on the screen here that'll give you a real quick visual on our deploy notes. These were just published. 6.5, this is upcoming, so this is next week. We'll have a small deploy. In that deploy, again, those are adjustments to existing functionality. We'll see the message students who there's a numbers update in there. So this will be rolled out. Again, there's no need to test on deploys. We just roll out some corrections or enhancements to existing functionality. This is when selecting roles using the message students who feature in the gradebook. We can modify the send message to list the number or the displayed numbers update to reflect the current number of selected users as you're selecting them. So real small enhancement or real small change. Context card tray close icon update in the gradebook. The student context card close icon is relocated. Just provides cohesion with the Canvas interface. So small change there. Randomize with submission status sorting. This becomes an option in SpeedGrader. Instructors can randomize the order of students within the submission status. Those are your deploy notes. That's exciting, right? All right. So just a reminder, coming up in, is it 2 weeks? A couple weeks, we have our office hours. I'm going to pull my calendar up here real quickly while we're on the call. And I want to call attention to it. Again, if you have not been to the office hours, there's a lot of you that haven't, you should go. You should definitely check it out in June. Office hours this month are going to be June 18th. That's a Tuesday for Missouri, 2 p.m. Central. Say it with me, 2 p.m. Central. Wednesday, June 19th, Illinois, office hours, 2 p.m. Central. And June 20th, my birthday, Iowa, you get to celebrate with me. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm working on my birthday. Life goes on, right? June 20th. I don't want to celebrate anyways. I don't want to tell you what age I am. I'll say this. It's in the 20s. That's a lie. June 20th, Iowa, 2 p.m. Central. We're going to have our office hours. We'll celebrate my birthday. I'll have a cupcake or a cookie or something for my birthday. Have it with me. Celebrate all week. It's a birthday week, right? Do we still do that? Do people do that? It's birthday week, birthday month. Not at my age. No way. 43. I'll say it. No, it's going to be 44. Oh, man. 44th birthday. Anyways, June's my favorite month. It's summer. I hope you guys are having a wonderful summer. Thank you so much for tuning in to the webinar this month. I'm just short of 30 minutes. I nailed it this time. All right, I'm keeping it brief. We'll send out a newsletter. I'll timestamp everything. Again, the links will be included in the newsletter. Let me know if you have questions. If you want to schedule a call. If we haven't met yet, please reach out. Schedule a call with me. I am going to be reaching out over time again. This is going to go through the summer, but I'm reaching out to schedule quarterly business reviews, QBRs. If you've never had a business review, we're going to look at your data. It's an awesome high level. I do them in 30 minutes. I'm going to do them quick. They're great. I may have follow-up behind the 30 minutes, but we're going to look at your data. I use this for goal setting moving into the future. I'm talking with my hands right now. If you haven't had a QBR yet, reach out to me, or eventually I'm going to reach out to you and we'll schedule one. Please schedule a QBR. They're super effective. Very, very helpful. Give you a visual data storytelling on what you're doing in Canvas. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. It's Friday again here. But if it's not, you watch this. Have a great weekend coming up. And have a great summer. Thank you guys again.